what I like to call mercy and grace and tolerance, right? No matter, like I got 6 pieces. I got 3 girls, 3 boys. No matter what, how they love, I'm gonna love them up, right? That's my own personal thing. My uncle, one of my favorite uncles was a homosexual, right? As a kid, I didn't know that, but as an adult, I learned to be tolerant of that. It didn't change my love for him, so I came up in that environment, man. So I have a different concept of how to approach these things. Like, love who you want to love, be who you want to be, and if you feel like you like the person of the same gender, or you feel like you want to be a different gender, then that's your choice. This is America. This is the world. You got the choice to be who you want to be. And so, as what we would consider, whatever we consider ourselves as, we have to just be tolerant and more patient, and just show mercy and grace to people who are different. So that's kind of how I approach that situation.
I admit,
except molesters and rapists and stuff like that, I ain't showing no mercy.
I admit, I don't have a disdain for your sexual orientation. I just don't want to be involved in it. Like,
and that's your choice.
And that's just my choice. And I'm never going to make anyone feel whatever they're doing is against however I feel. I do, however, feel that Michelle Obama.
I think you get into emotion of everybody in somebody else's life. This world is your world. You're only here for your path. So what Michelle decided to do pertaining to this child is letting her be free. That doesn't mean if today she feels this way, in 3 more years she comes and says, okay, this is truly not what I want. I thought this is what I wanted. But we are so eager to push what we believe on the individual. That's, no matter how we do it, that's their walk. They came to this world in this spirit, in this realm for their own walk. So all you can do is try your best, and you have to move forward because it's their walk.
Right.
DT, how do you struggle with being so young and old at the same time? Like, God damn.
Every time I think I'm just about.
Right. So yeah, to answer your question, I think Michelle Obama did a great thing.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, at some point you got to give credit to Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union too, because I'm sure as a father that couldn't be.
What is that ooh for? What is that ooh? What is that ooh?
Especially if you somebody
And that's
Dwayne Wade.
status,
It's almost like Dwayne Wade trying to come out the closet with.
But he's very metrosexual.
It's like he trying to come out the closet too. Like he's trying to find strength from his daughter. Like that's.
Is that just how we lacing it up because that's what the media shows?
No,
us?
that's. I mean,
Well,
that's who he is.
so.
He shares that with.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I guess in the black, you know, that was always accepted.
You don't like it?
No,
I don't. I
but
like a man
he
to be a
came
man.
into this world in realm and all that stuff that you said.
No, that's his own journey. I don't have to deal with it. Gabrielle do. Like, but I'm saying, I don't think it makes him a bad person. That's just I don't like it. I don't like.
What happened to men being masculine?
They different.
Even if they're gay, what happened to? I just think about like
Masculinity.
Yeah, like back in the day when I was growing up. You know, I am a youngster. I'm only 39, but when I was growing up, I feel like people that were gay, they didn't just put their business all out there. Like it was just like you didn't know. You didn't know. Like it wasn't a big deal to be just so loud with what was going on. Like you didn't see 2 men or 2 women walking down the street flossing it.
That's because
it wasn't accepted.
It was a faux pas. That was something that you could not walk. You had your certain areas in the city that you were, like the Central West End had their areas. You had certain places that they would go, only because if you were found out in that manner, it wasn't really a good thing. That's what people made them believe.
But it's like you are, it's like they are, but because people started having a voice, it's like they took it a little too far. You know
Are they wrong
saying?
for showcasing that?
I just feel like, why do you have, if heterosexual people ain't going around flaunting like, you know, hey, I sucked them. Why do we have to?
hold on,
why do you feel like it's so important? Like to me, from what I've seen.
I'm gonna ask you one question. If you see a heterosexual couple walking somewhere holding hands, do you feel like if you see a gay couple walking somewhere holding hands, do you feel like they doing too much?
No, I probably feel like I probably start. I don't feel any type of way when I see two gay people, but I do feel some type of way when I see a black man with a white woman. So I don't know.
Next week on What Up Though Radio, we'll discuss.
Black man,
We'll
white
discuss
woman.
I'm just saying.
Show Killer. How did you feel when you never mind. Anyway.
Since we talking.
Yeah.
T-Love, man, you've been in the entertainment business for
Yeah,
a long time.
yeah.
I know you've seen a lot of
I've seen definitely
weird
a lot.
and wild shit.
I mean, I work with a lot of. I work with this one gay guy used to come do everybody makeup on set. We was having a conversation, and he was like, "Do you like? Why do people think I would wish this on me?" He said, "A kid at school told me what I was before I knew what I was." He's like, "Do you think we would want like?" It might be some people out there that choose to be that, but he said, but majority of the people they don't wanna. They wanna be normal. And you know, and I looked at it like, dang.
What society says normal is though.
And then I've had a close friend whose son, and he tried to beat it out of him. And that the son is you can't. The son, that's so I understand a little bit where it coming from because I ain't seen a kid get beat for 6-7 years by his daddy, like beat damn near to death. So like, cause so you gotta have something like, I just as black people, I don't know how we just be so prejudiced against other shit the way we've been treated.
Preach.
Like.
Yeah.
On any level. Let's let people live and be happy. As long as it ain't bothering you.
It do bother me when I see a black man with a white woman. It bothers me.
See, Porter,
you love who you love.
as a writer of the Kansas City Star, and I'm saying that to remind you on such a sensitive subject that we on. You're an opinion writer. How do you leave what you've been grown up on? When did you realize that what you've grown up on is not worldly? As far as the topic that we're speaking on right now.
I don't know. I don't understand what your question.
Okay, we're talking about homosexuality being accepted in our community.
Right.
And as being the pride of Park Avenue.
Right. Okay, all right. That's good.
on.
That's good. Let me give you a good example of tolerance, man, and acceptance. In 1990, I would say 93, I was home for the summer. My uncle had a stroke. He was 37 years old. He had a stroke. It's like, damn, he's 37. He had a stroke. I was dumbfounded. My uncle was a homosexual. I knew at the time, but I didn't know, right? But he was, he died that summer. I was in the hospital, St. Louis University, when he died. I heard the doctor say to my grandma, "Did you know that your son had AIDS?" And it fucked me up because I didn't know, right? My uncle, who I live with, who I love, man, died of AIDS, bruh. And it did not change how I felt about him. You know what I'm saying? It didn't change the fact he was my favorite uncle, so I come from that prism. You know what I'm saying? I don't judge nothing or nobody about nothing, man. This is a no judgment zone for me. And I'm gonna always champion for the underdog and always champion for the voiceless, man. So that's just what it is.
So how do you balance giving an opinion without judgment? With that being your career, like how do you do that?
The news and people's personal business is two different things.
But people's personal business is in the news.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
LBGTQ or S, all that.
And I'm all about rights and human rights. And if someone comes to me, whether they're transgender, homosexual, black, Hispanic, and they have an issue, I'm gonna write about it. Because I'm always championing the underdog. I don't judge nobody.
So do you hold back your opinions?
No. I'm gonna hold back my
So
opinion.
if you don't agree with it, if it's something you don't agree with, you give that side also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even
So-
even when it's something touchy.
Let me give you just it's a what it'd be a small example about what I do on a day to day as a professional. So last year there was a University of Kansas basketball player who got into a fight with a guy from Kansas State. This guy used a chair and tried to hit one of the dudes he was fighting against, right? So the people that I work with, it's the editorial board. It's like 5 or 6 of us. We wrote a editorial that said this kid should no longer play college basketball, right? And I thought about that for a second. You know, I'm 21, 22.
Yeah.
What else? They would have threw me away at 21, 22. So I wrote a separate piece disagreeing with my colleagues, saying, give that young man mercy and give him grace, and don't throw him away at 21, 22, and let him redeem himself, because I was able to redeem myself. So yeah, I do that.
How do they feel about that?
That man, I got so many. When I write opinion pieces with my name on it, I get hate mail. I really do get hate mail. I got so many. I'm a middle-aged white woman. I'm a middle-aged white man. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I got one of the few ones I really got good feedback on.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need them haters, though.
Huh?
You need them haters.
It fuels you.
Yeah.
It fuels you. It keeps you on your toes.
And give you some work.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it.
And give you some paperwork.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. You need it.
What does that mean, show killer?
What does
You
it?
need
Yeah,
people
give us
criticizing
some
your
paperwork,
work.
wouldn't
You need
it?
people criticizing your
So
work.
you can write.
I want him
More
to
haters,
say
You
that.
know what I'm saying? Today Dirty was hating on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, quick on your
Absolutely.
feet.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Let me
Hating on me
tell
right
you.
now, but you know that's
And then you gotta
good.
think some we always like to say touchy situations. Touchy situations can be all different
It's
things.
everything
until
these days.
you living it. Like when you living in something and you dealing with it every day, it's not as touchy as to a person that don't gotta deal with it.
Right. Right.
I like talking to people. Like I wish I had the opportunity to truly talk to like several different transgender people, because I feel like it probably would open up my mind a little bit more.
Why can't you?
Also,
Invite 'em
I
on the
mean,
show.
it's not that I can't, but
That'd be a
I'm
great
just saying they probably would.
Seriously, yeah.
But you know, I'm what from my experience with transgender men, they are so aggressive against women like me that was born with a uterus. Like, you know, they feel like every question, because I'm ignorant to some things. So if I come out and I ask a question, they are easily offended, and they have this guard up and very defensive when you ask any question. You know what I'm saying?
Do you
I
think-
haven't ran
but-
into one that was
I
just
mean-
like real open and willing to communicate with me to give me a better understanding of what
I'm gonna
they
ask you
deal
this
with.
question though, like, you think it's fair to put that jacket on transgender people? Because a lot of people who think outside the box without being transgender or whatever that, or offended by
Well,
you asking them a question like that. But when you're offended and you're a transgender, does that put a whole nother jacket on them like that? Like, cause it's
no,
some,
that's
but
definitely
it's
their
other
jacket.
people who do stuff like that. Like, who
Yeah,
don't.
but if I'm genuinely coming to you, you know what I'm saying, trying to get an understanding, I'm not disrespectful or nothing. You're just automatically, because this is my personal experience having conversations with transgenders. Like, they are always aggressive. It's always a name call. It's so much competition with transgender
How do you have so
women.
many conversations with
Because
transgenders?
I'm a social media person, so I'm in a lot of different groups where it allow you to come in contact with people all over the world. People live in so many different lifestyles, things that we would consider weird. You know, you get to ask them questions. Have you ever heard of Beyond Submissive? You can find almost any type of person in that group. You know what I'm saying? So it allows you to have open conversations about these type of topics, and I recognize like transgender is one that I always try to get an understanding with, and I feel attacked all the time. I feel like because I have a uterus, like it's just this competition, or it's like everything they're offended by everything, and it's just mind-boggling. Like I don't get that part. So I haven't encountered someone who was willing to be open with me, you know what I'm saying, and have gotten to a point where they've healed from some of the trauma they experienced going through their process. Like, I just haven't got to that point, you know. So maybe one day on What Up Though Radio.
We won't have it.
See, that's all.
Let's see what's going on.
In the movie United States versus Billie Holiday, have you seen that?
Man, that was
I'm
so
sorry we did
deep.
not
Okay.
talk about that. Just DT, you did say. I watched it before we.
It was
I
so
made my
deep.
business to watch that before we came here, and I watched it probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours before we got here. God damn.
It was deep.
It was.
That was
Even
a,
after
first of all,
that.
it was a good movie.
It was.
You
I
didn't watch it yet, Tom? Oh, I'm finna say you
I was
are a
able
movie
to
critic.
relate to Billie Holiday in a lot
I
of ways.
had no idea like how
Billy,
how much Stranger Fruit
Yeah. It's-
was
So-
like. The first time I had Stranger Fruit when I watched the Mike Brown thing, and when I was listening to the lyrics then.
It was deep.
So when I heard it then, it's like how much they didn't want her to sing that song.
Because how powerful it was.
Just the feds alone. But the basis of the movie is about, well, she was going to court for drugs. This FBI agent kept coming to her about drugs. At least that's what he portrayed it to be.
And he really loved her.
But she had this song called Strange Fruit, and it was about lynching. And the fact that she was going across the country, or everybody loved her. She wasn't like just a black star. White people loved her. Everybody loved Billie Holiday. And to sing this song would incite people as you sing it wherever you go. And she even had Caucasians sing Strange Fruit. There was this one particular time she was walking up the steps and she was going to court. And a black reporter stopped her. And of all the things he said, why don't you just do right?
Do you think that actually happened?
I don't
I
know
bet
if
it
it happened,
did.
but it's it goes back to the
bet it
conversation
did.
that you had earlier, how hard we are on our own.
You be listening to me?
Sometimes.
everything. Yeah, you know how we do it. Cause she's saying in Judas and the Messiah.
Yeah. So
These movies though.
But Judas and Messiah was true. Then when he
Some
told
of it-
after he
some
told the
of it
story,
true.
what did he do? He killed himself.
Yeah.
I believe Billie Holiday's story because the first original ones that you heard about, it wasn't about the fact about Strange Fruit. It was about her and her heroin addiction. It wasn't about the fact that the FBI would chase you across the country, that you got to go to foreign places just to sing a song, or you got to go behind a wall and sing a song. She has so much power, and it's just like your own kind ask you that instead of, like she said, you could have just tell me I need help. Why you don't help me? But we just look at it and we say, why don't you just do right? Of all the things this man, he was the only man that was talking to this lady going up the steps, and that's all you could say. As a reporter.
Right. You see it all the time.
As a reporter.
I
As
agree.
an African American male in
I agree.
2021. That same situation happened to you as she's walking up the steps. The opinionated writer reporter.
I love it.
What do you say?
All right. This is great. I love that question. Because of my role and what I do, I take that as a great responsibility. My responsibility is to uplift and be a voice to the voiceless. Now, I say that, what does that mean, right? Last year, around March, there was I would say, police shooting in Kansas City, right? A brother by the name of Donnie Sanders was killed. You know, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like major news, but it happened. So also last March 13th, a young lady by the name of Breonna Taylor was killed, right? And then in May, George Floyd was killed. So at some point, people in Kansas City started protesting these police shootings. And so what I did was I got up off my ass, got on the front line, and I started sticking cameras in all these young people's faces who were on the front lines. And it was two people who stood out the most to me, two young ladies, probably 20, 21 years old. Just put them on front line, tell your story, why are you out here? They told the story. That's just one example. Another example is I had a African American woman come to me and tell me about this story, a video that was on worldstarhiphop.com. It was of her son being shot in Kansas City on camera. Worldstar had it, Willie D had it, they was making fun of him. She came to me. What can you do? I wrote a piece about it, saying how jacked up it was that people were making fun of this man on camera. Had another woman come to me, about something that was happening to her in her job. Wrote about it. I'm gonna always stand up for my people. I'm gonna always stand up for my people, even to a fault. Even to a fault.
Might need you one day, brother.
Every day.
Hey,
Great
Amen.
question, dog. I appreciate that.
No
For
problem,
real.
sir.
this has been a great show. Man, I love how great What Up Though Radio, even without the bells and the whistles sometimes, we bring it. We had a great guest this evening. This is,
I'm humble. I'm humble.
Appreciate you, man, coming through, man.
I'm humble,
Bless
man.
you.
I'm humble.
if
I'm like Marshawn Lynch, baby. I'm humble. I'm humble.
If it,
I love him so.
if there's anything that you want to leave our listeners with and our viewers with,
Do the work, chop wood. This world owes you nothing. You get in it out of you. You get in it. You get out of it what you put in it. Trust the process, and pay it forward, man. I can be found on all social media channels at TorianoPorter.com. You ain't get to the point. I got 3 books out, but whatever. My latest book is a digital-only project called The 5 People You Meet in the Hood Before You Get to Heaven.
oh damn,
It's available on Amazon.com. It's exclusive on the Kindle app. It's the #1 hot new release in America. Download that thing.
Okay.
And
say that, run that title back. The 5 people,
the 5 people you meet in the hood before you get to heaven.
and that's to play off the 5
People you meet before you get to heaven. It was
By Mitch
a
Albom.
a sports writer
I
from
read
Detroit.
I do
Absolutely.
read.
I always loved that title. Always loved that title, so I wanted to do something with it. And so the 5 people you meet in the hood is about the 5 people closest to me that they all died within a 19-month span. My best friend, Warrior Watkins, was shot and killed at the age of 33 in North St. Louis. My best friend, Ricky, took his own life in Springfield. My firstborn son was shot and killed at 16. His brother was killed at 19. And my stepmom died of breast cancer. This all happened between 18 and 19 months in the year 2008, 2009. And it fucked me up. And it took me until now, in 2020, to write about it. So I just wanted to start that healing process. So I wrote a book called The 5 People You Meet in the Hood, how they all were interconnected, how they were connected to me. It was my little way of saying thank you, I love you. And it went to #1 in America, man.
Congrats. Ding, 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 ding.
Hey,
Sorry, I
hey.
didn't get to say that shit.
No,
I didn't mean to say shit, but but that was, hey man, my guy,
love, man.
my
For
brother.
real,
See,
for
I can
real.
say my brother to some people.
real,
No,
for real.
seriously.
We go way,
really appreciate
way
you
back.
coming,
It's been
man.
all love, man.
Love, Show Killer, Farrah DT.
Appreciate
It's a
you.
great another episode of What Up Though
Appreciate
Radio. We do great interviews here. I appreciate everybody for what they did. We out of here, man. We gonna be back next week. We about to do this ice cream cake runs for whoever riding with me or rolling against me, and we gonna party on. See y'all next week.
Yes, sir.
Holla back.